The multinational joint task force combating insurgency in the Lake Chad region says insurgents have continued to surrender in mass. A statement by the spokesman of the task force, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, says the development was due to the intensified kinetic and non-kinetic operations adopted by the task force. The statement says over a span of 2 days, 4 key Boko Haram commanders, 13 main fighters, and a total of 45 family members laid down their arms and surrendered to troops of Sector 3 MNJTF in Cross Kawa and Baga of Kukawa local government area of Borno State. The surrendered items include 7 AK-47 rifles, 1 FN rifle SLR, nearly 440 rounds of assorted caliber ammunition, and other essential tools of insurgency. Let's now speak to security analyst Steve Okwori on what Nigerians should expect from new Minister of Defense to be inaugurated tomorrow, and how the Bola Tinubu government can defeat insurgency in the northern part of the country. Steve, thank you for coming to Newsnight.
Thank you for that.
We've been on this issue for quite a while. I remember the last time it came to Newsnight, we had a chat bordering on Boko Haram members surrendering and all of that. But, I mean, have you changed your position since you last came?
I haven't. I haven't changed my position at all. Because the way the issues are going, we are still seeing terrorists fighting, some of them are still surrendering and all that. So what is the government doing about it? And meanwhile, there's a law, just the way I said. What's happening to the law? Okay,
this is a new administration.
Yes.
And is there a possibility of a clean slate, a new bill of health, so to speak, for the new president to open a new chapter and say, okay, let bygone be bygone. It's a new day, and whoever will surrender, this is how we're going to empower you. This is how we're going to correct the anomalies. Do you actually believe that there can be genuine surrendering from terrorists?
Yes. Yeah, there's the possibility of genuine surrendering, if you ask me. And once we see that and it's established, because I know we have professionals that look at the way and manner they look at them, they assess them, profile them, and do all of that. There are also psychologists that also look at their behaviors, if they have truly changed, So looking at that, and those elements are applied, we can still go ahead and say, okay, they have genuinely repented, and we'll just hope and pray that they won't go back to their vomit, But the ones that have already repented, they are complaining that the government is not remembering or giving them what is due to them based on their agreements, and that is what is prompting them to go back into crime. So what I am saying here is that we just hope that as they come out that they have repented, let us see that they have truly repented.
Mohammed Badaru will be taken over tomorrow after his inauguration as the Minister of Defense. What are your expectations from him?
Now, I am here to say one or two things concerning that particular appointment. I don't have issues with the nominees. They are eminently qualified based on their track record, their qualifications. I took my time to peruse their profiles, But when I saw the nominees, the 45 of them, I was wondering who was going to be Minister of Defense, Minister of Police Affairs, Minister of Interior, because these are in the ministries that concerns the security architecture or sector in Nigeria, From the nominees, Nigerians already knew that Professor Ali Pati was going to be Minister for Health. Nigerians already knew that Wale Edun was going to be Minister for Finance. But Nigerians did not know who was going to be Minister for Defense, Minister for State Defense, Minister for Interior, Minister for Police Affairs, until they were now assigned these portfolios. Now, what am I expecting from Mohammed Badaru now? Mohammed Badaru is an accountant. The Minister of State for Defense is a mechanical engineer. The Minister of Interior the one they just reassigned the Minister of Interior, is an electrical engineer. Then we have the Minister for Police Affairs, who happens to be an accountant as well. Now, is the administration of President Bola Tinubu, is he saying that we lack professionals in the security sector that can man any of these ministries? Now, for me, they are taking Badaru and the others to an unfamiliar terrain, if you ask me. At this point in time, that we see serious security challenges. Some couple of days ago, about 36 personnel of the military were killed. We saw where some soldiers were also ambushed in Zamfara. Nigerians are kidnapped every day in this country. Ransom are paid heavily in this country. Then you are bringing somebody that is coming to learn on the job. But
it was the governor of Jigawa State for 8 years, 2 terms straight.
So what happens? Was he a security professional?
Not exactly, but one would say that having served as a state governor for 2 terms back to back, and being the chief security officer of a state, it shouldn't be strange to security architecture of state.
So what is his level of professionalism in terms of security? Does he have the competence? Does he have the skills?
That's why you're here. He should tell us.
He doesn't have. That's why I'm here. He doesn't have. He will now begin to look at advisors that will now begin to work with him. Perhaps a retired military officer or a police officer or a civilian security consultant like myself. But if they are advising him and bringing out programs of policies that will see how to improve the security situation in the country, which professional advice or input will he now make as the minister? So when I saw that President Tinubu has reassigned, I was expecting to see that perhaps this information has gotten to him. Because for me, they have commonized the security sector. It's not every office that should be political. If some persons come with the argument that a minister is an administrator, he's just coming to run the administration of the ministry, yes. But it doesn't mean that you should not put a square peg in a square hole. If you want to look at that argument, are you telling me that you will take a security consultant like myself and say I should go be minister and attorney general of the federation? Can I function there? I won't be able to function there. We saw in this country the likes of Rauf Aregbesola. When they appointed him Minister of Interior, he said he doesn't know what's happening there.
Okay, now, see, it looks to me now that what's important is how to salvage the situation, how to make a bad situation better. Yeah. All right, so now that it doesn't look like the president is going to remove him anytime soon. Yes. Well, so then what would you recommend that Muhammad Badru do now to function appropriately when it comes to snatching the nation out of the jaws of terrorists?
Now, I will start from what the president should do,
right,
and what Badru should do. For me, the president should set a target for the ministers, that are overseeing the ministries that have to do with security. Set target, KPI, key performance indicators. In the event where they don't meet these KPIs, they can be a cabinet reshuffle and take them to ministries where they can function better. We are not lacking security professionals in this country. We have a whole lot of them. So for making the office of the defense ministry and states and all that and the other ministries, all political appointment, key politicians.
Steve, some are even, have you thought about the fact that professionals are heading other security agencies and ministries like the police, army? Have you thought about that?
Of course I know.
Okay. But so what makes this different?
There's need for synergy. In the event when they don't synergize, where they bring up policies, programs, and they discuss these things professionally and intellectually, how do you expect them to function well? So for me, Badru has been appointed. The president has done this, his prerogative, to appoint whoever he wants to appoint. But I want to believe that it's an oversight. Because these are issues or ministries that have to look at who occupies such ministry in this our time, when criminality and crime is all over?
You think it's an oversight? So what you're saying is that the president has made a mistake appointing Mohammed Badr as the Minister of Defense. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
mistake. Because we cannot have what we are seeing now in this country. We have an accountant as Minister of Defense, a mechanical engineer as Minister of State for Defense, and you expect us to get results? The only way the man can function now is that he has to bring professionals on board to see how to work with him. Because as far as I'm concerned, whatever input is going to make, you know, for instance, take it that Ali Pati brings professionals, experts in the health sector on how to improve the policies and the programs of health sector in Nigeria. And they are advising him. And they derail in a way. Are you telling me that he won't know that they have derailed and he wants to bring them back on track? He also wants to make his own professional input in the area where they are going wrong. So in the event where the Minister of Defense brings advisors around him and they are not advising him well, at what point will he now know that they are not advising him well?
Steve Okwori.
Because he doesn't have the knowledge about what he's coming to do.
Steve Okwori, I just imagine what the Minister of Defense designate will be thinking if he's watching you right now, Mohammed Badr. But, well, we must say a big thank you to you for coming on Newsnight.